We have a child actress over here. Heather O'Rourke. She was in the Poltergeist movies 1, 2, and 3. And she was the one that got the iconic saying, "They're here," into everyone's psyche. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel here at Pierce Brothers in Los Angeles. More stargazing we're trying to find. I mean, there's not a corner of this place that you can't walk in that you don't find a name you've heard before in movies or television. It's insane, you know? Comedians, the whole bit. I mean, there's all kinds of people here. So let's see who we can find and let's get on with it. Here we have the final resting place of actress Farrah Fawcett. Charlie's Angels. Nobody can forget that show. That show was awesome at the time. She was an actress on that show and was a very, very popular figure among young men. She appeared on the series from 1976 to 1980. She left the show at the conclusion of the first season, but returned to the series in a guest role appearance over the next 3 seasons as part of a contractual settlement, avoiding a potential breach of contract lawsuit. She became one of the premier sex symbols of the 1970s and 1980s, appearing on the magazine covers of Playboy, Harper's Bazaar, People, Time, Cosmopolitan, Vanity Fair, Vogue, and TV Guide, among others. In 1976, she posed in a red swimsuit for a poster selling over 12 million copies worldwide. I remember that poster. I think everybody I knew owned that poster of her, that swimsuit. Her motion picture credits include Myra Breckinridge, 1970, Logan's Run, 1976, Somebody Killed Her Husband, 1978, Sunburn, 1979, Saturn III, 1980, The Cannonball Run, 1981, Extremities, 1986, See You in the Morning, 1989, Man of the House, 1995, The Apostle, 1997, The Love Master, 1997, Dr. T and the Women, 2000, and The Cookout in 2004. Her television credits include Mayberry RFD, I Dream of Jeannie, The Flying Nun, The Partridge Family, McCloud, Marcus Welby, MD, The $6 Million Man, Ally McBeal, Spin City, and The Guardian in 2004. And she was the recipient of 2 TV Land Awards for her work in Charlie's Angels, and in 1977 earned a People's Choice Award as Favorite Female Performer in a new TV program. She also drew critical acclaim for her work in the television motion picture The Burning Bed in 1984. She was also nominated for her work in Small Sacrifices 1989, The Guardian 2001, Poor Little Rich Girl, The Barbara Hutton Story 1987, and The Nazi Hunter. In 1995, she was awarded a star on the Hollywood's prestigious Walk of Fame. Diagnosed with cancer in September 2006, she waged a long battle with the disease before eventually succumbing to the age of 62. So that was Farrah Fawcett, 70s and 80s icon. Now, I want all the men here to admit you had that poster on your wall at some point in your life, probably as a child, as a teenager, of her in that swimsuit. I think I had older family members that had that poster, but I do remember it well. We have a child actress over here. Heather O'Rourke. She was in the Poltergeist movies 1, 2, and 3, and she was the one that got the iconic saying, "They're here," into everyone's psyche. And then in the Poltergeist sequels, that iconic saying, "They're back." She was actually discovered in 1980 by director Steven Spielberg while eating lunch with her mother at the MGM studio commissary, and Spielberg was looking for a 6-year-old girl to play the part of Carol Ann in Poltergeist, and hired her after her interview and screen test very quickly. Among her many movie and TV accomplishments, The thing in her life she was proudest of was being elected student body president of her 5th grade class in 1985. And her one goal in life was to go to UCLA and major in filmmaking and to become a film director. That was one of her ultimate goals. Some of her television credits include Fantasy Island, Webster, Chips, Happy Days, and the new Leave It to Beaver. And when she was in school, she never turned down a classmate for an autograph. And she also was known to have an amazing memory, often showing up to movie and TV sets, having all of her lines memorized already. And on February 1st, 1988, at about, I think she was roughly 12 years old, she died following 2 cardiac arrests, her cause of death later being ruled as congenital stenosis of the intestine, complicated by septic shock. That's sad. I remember her on Happy Days as well. I don't remember her in any of the other TV shows, like Chips and Webster, but I for sure remember her on Happy Days. And another actress related to Heather O'Rourke was her co-star in Poltergeist, Dominique Dunne, 1959 to 1982. And in that movie, she played Dana Freeling, older sister to Carol Ann. Upon graduating from high school in 1977 from Fountain Valley High School in Colorado, she went to Florence, Italy, where she studied art and Italian language. Upon returning back to the U.S., she enrolled in Colorado State University in Fort Collins to study acting, but left after only 1 year and soon obtained roles in Hollywood. She appeared in cameo roles in several television series like Lou Grant, Saint Elsewhere, Chips, Heart to Heart, and Fame. In 1981, she won her first role in the movie Poltergeist, for which she is best remembered. Fall of 1981, while she was at a party, she met Thomas Sweeney, a chef at an upscale Los Angeles restaurant, Mason. They were quickly attracted to each other and began dating. About 6 months later, they broke up and went their separate ways. And in the fall of 1982, she got the role of Robin Maxwell in the television miniseries V. On the evening of October 30th, 1982, she was at her home with actor David Packer rehearsing some upcoming scenes from V for the next day's filming, when Sweeney showed up to ask her to reconcile with him because they had broken up previously. During the ensuing argument, he strangled her, and although the police and ambulance showed up almost immediately, she was unconscious and died 5 days later without regaining consciousness. Her boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend, was convicted of voluntary manslaughter in September 1983 and only sentenced to 6 years in prison. And it says her heart and kidneys were donated to save lives. Man, he only got 6 years for that? That is insane. And we find ourselves to round out this video at the grave of, I don't get no respect, Rodney Dangerfield. From what I heard, he, in the 1940s, worked at a resort in the Catskill Mountains and wrote jokes and was performing as a singing waiter as well. And then eventually he got out of the business to be a house painter, I guess, to try to earn a more stable income. And then later on, he would later return to show business in the 1960s at the age of 40. And his stand-up act took off with various television appearances and comedy albums. The man who is famous for his signature phrase, "I don't get no respect," opened up the self-named comedy club Dangerfields in New York City, New York, where he helped the careers of notable comics such as Jerry Seinfeld, Jim Carrey, Roseanne Barr, Jeff Foxworthy, Tim Allen, and Sam Kinison. His movie career was as varied as his comedy act, making his acting debut in 1971, The Projectionist. He would later appear in such movies as Caddyshack, Easy Money, Back to School, Moving, Ladybugs, Meet Wally Sparks, and Little Nicky. Now, he was a regular when Johnny Carson hosted The Tonight Show and would appear frequently on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno as well. One of his last appearances was in August of 2004, just days before his hospitalization for a heart valve replacement on the television show Jimmy Kimmel Live. And he lived from 1921 to 2004, died at the age of 82. A comedy legend, Rodney Dangerfield. Okay guys, I am out of here. I gotta go. Place is getting ready to close in a little while, and there's plenty of more stars I didn't come across. Well, I know where they're at. I just didn't have time to film today. When I first got here today, there was a funeral service going on, and with the size of this place, I figured I better make myself scarce, because this place is not very big, and I didn't want to be too close to the funeral with my camera going, if you know what I mean. And I'm gonna go get something to eat and go drink some water. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click that bell icon. Therefore, you'll be notified of all of my future uploads, guys. I'm still here for a couple more days, so we'll see what we can find. I'll talk to you later.